All right. Literally in the same shirt as my Stephen King review. Same shitty hair. Haven't shaved in like 4 days. It's okay. It's okay. I'm recording this intro to give just a tiny bit of context. I have never read Dune. I'm not a huge sci-fi reader. Not that I don't enjoy it, I've just never really picked it up. I've always been more of a lit fiction, historical fiction, and sometimes a fantasy fan. Usually fantasy that reads a little more like historical fiction. I'm not a big fan of like huge fantasy. Like I never read Brandon Sanderson, but I don't really feel like I'd be a huge fan of him. That's just my taste personally. I'll probably give it a shot in the future for sure. I was on YouTube, I mean this is a while ago, maybe a couple years ago. And I saw a Christopher, I'm gonna butcher his name, Christopher Rucchio? Rucchio? I'm gonna say Christopher Rucchio. I saw one of his books pop up and I recommended it, and it was a Sun Eater update. And I watched the whole thing, and I didn't even know what he was talking about, but I was so intrigued. And ever since then, I've wanted to pick it up. And I know the final book just came out this year. I've heard amazing things about it. The Goodreads ratings are just insane. Not that I only base my stuff off Goodreads reviews, but I always do tend to check it because you get a general sense, right? I mean, if something's got a million reviews and it's got a 1-star average, you can probably assume that out of that many reviews, it's not going to be that good. This book in particular, I've heard mixed things about. I've heard it's a little derivative, but that's kind of why I'm so excited. And I say derivative not in a mean way. I'm just saying to mean it takes from its inspirations heavily. And, but that's the thing. A lot of the things that people say this takes inspiration from, like Dune, like Red Rising, like Star Wars, I don't know these IPs, guys. I really don't. I'm not a sci-fi. I've never even touched a Dune book. I've only seen like 2 Star Wars, 3 Star Wars. That's not true. I've seen the first 3, and then I saw Rogue One. That's 4. Not that I don't like them. It's just I'm not a sci-fi fan like that. So I'm wondering how this is going to reflect with me, not being able to sometimes see that maybe it's wearing its inspirations on its sleeve because I don't understand its inspirations. To me, this is just a wholly unique story, and I'm so excited, guys. And I said it already, look how beautiful this is. I don't even know if I'm gonna like this, and I bought the nice book because that's how nice it is. Even if I end up hating this book, 0 out of 100, 0.5 stars, I will keep this on my shelf forever because it looks so beautiful. Got my bacon bookmark right at part 1, guys, right at chapter 1, titled Hadrian. Have not even attempted any of this book yet. I just went to chapter 1 and put my bacon in there. I'm so excited. I am. Got a nice little map. I do love getting some nice maps at the beginning of bigger books. It's always helpful. I'm rambling. I love to ramble. I love to fucking ramble. I'm so excited. Why am I so excited? Why am I so excited? I don't even know anything about this. I know nothing. Let's look at the back. Oh, there's not even a blurb on the back. It just says, the light of that murdered sun still burns me. That sounds awesome. You can't tell me you're gonna hear a series called Sun Eater and not think that sounds fucking awesome, all right? Enough talking. I'm gonna read a little bit of this, probably give you guys an update after the first chapter, and just go from there, guys. I don't even know what to say. I look like a fucking mess. Look at this. I look like a wolf person. So there's a character in this book named Alistair. Yeah, I have a character like that exact same name in my book, okay? I was like, all right, you know, that's fine. That is fine, right? It's completely fine, just one name. Then already, page 18 is a character named Kyra, Kyra, and that's one of the main characters in my book. So, starting to feel like I might need to change some names. On chapter 4 now, page 24. Let's get this up. This is so bad. It looks like herpes. I'm reading this a little slower than I normally would read. I was probably reading like a page every 2 minutes. That's not normally how I go. I'm like a page a minute. So just try to knock it out, man. Taking me a while, but it'll be worth it, I think. All right, let's set this camera down somewhere. Ooh, I got an idea. Prop it up by the bookshelves. Oh my god. It's like a professional setup. Except I'm too tall for this. All right, here we go. We're gonna sit on the ground like this. Oh, there's so much shit in this shot. We are on, let's see. I look so short. I'm standing on my knees right now. We are on page 41, the start of chapter 6, titled Truth Without Beauty. I fucking just lost the page. There we go. It's interesting. It's just a little bit much. Some things are specifically chapter 3, I believe it is. He's on a tram. Hadrian, the main character, he's on a tram, and he's describing the town. And maybe I was a little, that's totally possible. The description just was so much because you're trying to take in the description of the world, and then he's also throwing all this history and old politics at you at the same time, and it's just a little bit like overwhelming. But it's also pretty like elegantly written. I do like how it's written. And so far the story, while it's feeling like, it's very clear in what it's setting up. I mean, the very beginning, it tells you pretty much how the entire story is going to end, as in the whole series. It literally tells you at the very first paragraph who this guy is and what he does. And you're kind of reliving it through his mind when he's like, maybe he's some kind of god. He's called the Sun Eater now. You get the dynamics between him and his father, and him and his mother, and his mother and his father, and him and his brother. It almost reminds me a little bit, I just read East of Eden. It almost reminds me a little bit of East of Eden, just the Adam and Charles, as well as the Aaron and Cal relationship. I get that vibe. It's not like East of Eden whatsoever, but I don't know. The politics are interesting, a little overwhelming because, like I said, they're giving you so much history and throwing so much at you. But I had a little bit of this with when I started reading Game of Thrones right there, A Song of Ice and Fire. But I got used to it so quick, and it's a whole series. I'm gonna get sucked into this world. So I'm reading a little bit slower than I normally would, but I am really excited to keep going. I'm gonna try to get to page 100 today for day 1. Love to get 100 pages in a day. If I could do 100 pages a day, I could get this done in like 6 days. What's the total? Like 620 or so. So yeah, let's get to cracking on this mother flippin' book, guys. Let's check it out. Let's look at the bookshelf as well, right? Huh? I gotta eat my sweatpants as well. All right. Just got a bunch of random stuff. Ready? Oh, gotta have the saxophone playing Eminem at the very top. Let's get the thumbnail. Ready? It's always gonna be me screaming. There we go. I'll catch up to you guys later. All right, it is Sun Eater day 2. I've had it posted up on my shelf like this. Boom. Day 2. I did reach my 100-page goal. 104. You can't see it because there's no there's page. I can't even speak. I'm so tired. Chapters don't have page numbers. This is 105. This is where I'm at. I didn't know how to feel about it at the start, but I'm starting to like it like a pretty good amount. I can't speak at all. I'm gonna get going. That's about it. I gotta get ready for the day. 100 more pages today. So we just finished, we just got to chapter 20, not finished. We got to chapter 20. Page 140 flat. I think this is where I'm gonna stop for now. I think it's like 3 p.m. I really want to try to get to 200 today, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. So 180 is my minimum goal. I'm gonna get to 180 no matter what. So it's picking up. He just left. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, I'm excited. It's getting better for sure. Better and better. It is currently 5:12 in the morning. This is day 3 of trying to read Sun Eater in a week. Hold on, let me back up my driveway. We're headed back to work for the week. We got a 45-minute drive. I ended up on like page 170. So I didn't get my goal. Still can finish it in a week. Just gonna have to pick up some slack a little bit later on. But in order to do these work days, I'm gonna try something a little new. I'm not like really like into audiobooks in the sense of just like never really done it. With Pet Cemetery, I did it for maybe like 20 pages at work just to try it out. And I had a good time. I was able to focus really well on the book. So I think I got a 45-minute drive to work. Gonna try to get 1 or 2 chapters done on the audiobook on the way there. on the way back, and then maybe even a little bit at work today. And then when I get home, get some reading done and try to knock this fucking shit out of the park, guys. So yeah, see you later. Shitty quality, you can barely even see me. It is 5:50 in the morning. I just got to work, but before I go in, I want to give a little update. This is day 4 of reading this book in 6 days challenge, which didn't even start as a challenge, but now it is. I get a microphone today. My microphone's coming in today, so videos will sound a lot better. This looks so bad, and it makes it look like I haven't slept. Well, maybe I haven't slept, but oh my God, the lighting is horrible. We ended day 3 at the start of chapter 49. We're getting there, guys. But that's only page, let's see, page 318. Here we go. Oh God, this is hard in one hand. This is really difficult. There you go. I'm excited. That was like 50 pages worth of audiobooks at work. I'm gonna try to get some more audiobooks done while I'm in the field. But that was like, yeah, that's like 150 pages. So we knocked our goal out of the park and made up for yesterday, or day 2, and then some, so. I think this is gonna go well, guys. I think this is gonna go well. Gonna try to get some actual like reading done on my lunch breaks, and then try to get some audiobooks done when I'm working. I really want to get this done. I'm really into it. It keeps switching up what's happening. First thing it's gonna be one thing, then something else happens. Now it's in a totally different situation. Now something else happens, and all these characters keep coming in, and then you think, oh, these are gonna be super important characters, and then it seems like they're never gonna show up again. So like, really interesting. It's keeping it interesting. I'll give more thoughts when I get to the end of it. So time to fucking get going. Okay, we got the microphone. All right, I think I gotta hold it like this. Let's see. I can clip it to my shirt, but I have this on. I don't need to have this on. I just like the way it looks. Okay. It is 6 in the morning. I just pulled up to work. Guys, we almost did it in 4 days. We were so close. I ended up getting so tired that I had to stop in the middle of a chapter on a scene break. I never do stuff like that almost. But I was getting really into it. We're getting pretty far in. Let's clip this to the shirt. See that? We're on 546 out of 578. 546, guys. We are 32 pages away. This shit is getting done today. No audiobook, I don't think. I think I'm gonna just try to read it all the way through. I could probably just take like a 30-minute break and just power through it. It's so dark you can barely see me. We're gonna get this done. And I'm so confident we're gonna get it done that I even brought my next book with me, guys. I even brought my next book with me. It's a lot shorter than this one, as you can tell. A lot shorter. I wonder what it is, guys. I wonder what it is. Got some big text in here. This is gonna be a quick oh! Got the microphone. I hope it sounds good. Peace, guys. We'll be back with the update. Oh, I'm exhausted. Empire Silence review. Short review. I'm not gonna do like a whole 30-minute review like I did for Pet Sematary. I'm gonna give some quick thoughts. I finished this around like 3 days ago. I recorded a review, but then I wasn't really happy with it. I was like, my thoughts are too fresh. They felt a little jumbled. I kind of wanted to sit on it and make sure that I agree with what I was saying. I do agree with what I was saying still, but the way I was wording it wasn't great. So we're here to re-record. Real quick review. Start with some non-spoilers real quick. If you want to know my rating, 72 out of 100. I think the max I would give it is a 75. I tend to do I'll give like a 3-point gap between 72 and 75. I'm leaning more towards 72, but maybe with time and maybe with reading the rest of the series, it could go up to that 75, or it could even go up higher. Who knows? Big, meaty book. Big book. Let's see. It's like 500. Well, it says 612 pages, but there's a short story at the end here. I did not read the short story. This is the collector edition. I did not know it had a short story. I got to it. I was like, I'll do it some more time. It's only 3 chapters. Maybe I'll read it after Recursion or something. I don't know. Probably before I do Howling Dark. Yeah, 72 out of 100. That might sound a little low.
It's not. I did enjoy this book. I read it, I mean, for me, reading a book this size in like 4 or 5 days, I can't remember how long it was. 5 days, I think. That's a really good for me. That I was into this book. The only thing is, I was into it, and then every time I got really into it, it felt like it subverted my expectations in a way that wasn't intentional, and that it wasn't really great. I didn't love it. And what I mean by that is, it feels like a lot of these plot lines, because this is an origin story for an origin story, is the way I look at it. It tells you that this series is going to be an origin story for the Sun Eater, but it feels like it's getting you to the point really quickly that you need to be in order to get to book 2. I don't know. It feels like a prologue almost to what I expect to come. Because of that, it's throwing a lot at you, and which is fine. It's a space opera. You would assume it's an epic fantasy novel. It's basically a fantasy novel in space. It's a sci-fi fantasy novel. It's throwing a lot at you, and that's okay. My thing is just, it felt like certain areas it spent too much time on, and other areas that I thought were maybe more interesting, or other plot lines, it didn't flesh them out enough, and then when it moved on to something else, I felt either a little underwhelmed or a little like, okay, this isn't as interesting as the last part, and then that part goes on for longer. And I'll be a little more specific in a second here with spoilers. And my other big complaint was some of the side characters. They felt a little flat. Not all of them. I liked Gilliam, I liked Volka, and I actually liked Anais, I think her name is. Oh, I give up. I don't want to look. I'm sure it's Anais, which is weird because she's not in it that much. I just actually kind of liked her on screen. It's a fun, interesting dynamic between Hadrian Marlowe's weird kind of asshole view, I guess. He's a bit of a dick. Yeah, 72 out of 100, 7.2 out of 10. Really good, not perfect, but despite that, you don't understand how excited I am to get into book 2. The fact that I liked this book as much as I did when I heard so many people saying they didn't really like this book, I went into it might sound weird, and you might not really be able to tell by my reaction and my excitement to read this. My expectations were pretty low. So they were actually surpassed. My expectations were, that seems really wrong still. I did like this. 72 out of 100, really good. That's no spoilers. Do a quick little spoiler stuff. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, boom. So basically, when I talk about I think the pacing is an issue when it comes to this. You spend a decent amount of time on his home planet and on Devil's Rest, and you get a lot of his Gibson. Same thing as the characters. Like, you get a lot of Gibson and his father and his brother. I liked his brother and his dynamic. It reminded me of East to Eden a little bit. I know that's a weird comparison. I just read that recently, like within the last couple months, so it's still fresh in my mind. I loved that book, by the way, East to Eden. I'll probably go back and do a review on it just because of how much I loved it. I got a little bit of that vibe from between Crispin and Hadrian. That was fun. I liked that. I liked the dynamic between his dad. Him and Gibson sometimes was a little eye-rolly to me. I don't know if that's just me personally. I just didn't love Gibson because this has to go into what I was saying with characters feeling flat. It feels like Gibson was just there to be there because he needed to be there, because Hadrian needed someone like that. I wish their relationship was a little more fleshed out and not so much like he just loves this kid and that's it. And that's fine, but it just felt a little flat. Gibson felt a little flat. I feel like I've seen so many characters like him, the mentor, the Mr. Miyagi or the Obi-Wan or the whatever, right? And those are bad examples because those are great characters. And Gibson is a good character. He fell a little flat for me. I didn't really care that much for Gibson, and that's okay. That is okay. Same thing with, and this goes to what I was saying with pacing and taking too long on certain scenes and certain, not scenes, but plot lines. You know, you get done with, Gibson gets his nose. That was a good moment. I liked that moment. But the thing is, because I didn't care about Gibson that much, it didn't hit as hard as it does for Hadrian, and I think that's kind of the point. You're supposed to have these things that are hard-hitting for Hadrian hit that hard for you too. I didn't really feel like that with the Gibson thing. And I didn't really feel like that, this is going on to the next thing, with the Cat thing. Cat is another character he meets when he's in Borasivos, I think it's called. And another kind of typical character archetype. And that's how I actually liked Cat more than Gibson, but then they kill her off. And it feels like I had no attachment because you gave me almost nothing with Cat. There's probably like 3 or 4 chapters, and some of these chapters are really fucking short, man. There's almost 80 chapters, 78 chapters. Some really short chapters, and some of them with Cat, and it's like, then Cat just kind of dies out of nowhere, and it's like, okay, I get it, but there's like a plague going on, and Cat gets sick from it. It didn't really feel like the plague was that set up that well, or maybe I'm missing it. I think it might have been mentioned, but like, then it's like, oh, it affects him in this way, and then it feels like that's it, right? So you set up this plague in the city, she dies from it really quickly, so you don't build up a connection with Cat, and so the death doesn't hit, and then he's on to the next thing, and then the plague kind of never comes back, and it's like, that's kind of lame. I'm not trying to shit on this book. It is kind of lame. And that has to do with what I was saying, where it takes too much time. You know, you go from his start, which I think his start is probably a good length. It could be shortened just a little bit, but that's okay. And then you go to, he leaves, goes to his mother's. That was real short, like 2 chapters. His mother sends him off, helps him, and sends him off to become a scholiast. Really fun. And he gets, I loved this part. I loved how you get this whole crew of people in this new ship, the Eurocles. I think that's so wrong, but this new ship of his, to take him to be a scholiast. This is something I did like about Subverting Expectations. I really loved how it brings in all these like 5 or 6 characters, names them all, they all have different personalities, and then it's next chapter you never see him again because he wakes up crash landed. I liked that little bit, and then you get the Cat stuff pretty soon because he's on the streets for a little bit, then he finds Cat, and then Cat dies, and then that's when he decides to go to the gladiators. The stuff on the street in total I thought was good pacing. It's just when Cat comes in, I felt like that felt kind of rushed. And then the gladiator stuff, this keeps going on with what I was saying. It starts off so cool, and then in like 3 chapters it's over, because then he gets distracted by this guy named Gilliam bringing in a weird little box that he thinks has a secret thing in it. Turns out it does. I don't really know how he knew that. And I can't remember, I think it's like rumors or something or whatever. Then he gets himself caught, and it's like, no more gladiator shit. And it's like, come on, that was so fucking cool. And then you get into the Count's castle because of that. And that's when it really started to slow down. I was like, okay, this is taking too much space. You're gonna rush all this really cool stuff, and then you're gonna make this stuff in the Count's castle this long of a section. I was like, come on. I know I said I liked Anais as a side character, but like, I didn't love her. I just felt like she didn't feel as archetypal as some of these other characters, like Cat and like Gibson and like Switch. Switch is another one, feels very sidekicky. When they have that argument about who he really is, it just felt like, okay, they needed to hit this moment. A sidekick, a best friend, and they have to have a disagreement and come back together later. That's so cliche, and that can work, but for me, it was just like, Switch didn't feel like unique enough of a character for me to really care. And that's kind of where a lot of my stuff in this book comes from, like I've said so many times. Just, I didn't care a lot about some of the things in this. What I did care about was the C. Elson. I thought the way they did the C. Elson was so cool. I didn't like it at first, actually. I really was like, it feels like this is the main part of the book, right? Why aren't they talking about this more? And then I realized that like, they don't really know a lot of this stuff. Like, it's kind of, it's literally foreign to them. It's literally foreign to them. Well, I kind of understood that once they broke into their system and crash landed on Caliga. Also, yeah, let me backtrack a little bit. Stuff with the castle, with the Count and Anais went on too long. Then they have the cool fight with Gilliam when he challenges Gilliam to the duel. I love that. It's my second favorite moment in the book. I actually really I thought that was a moment that I actually cared about. It was fun, it was intriguing. And then he goes to Caliga to escape the Grand Prior, I think it is, something like that. Because that was her son that he killed in the duel. And when they get to Caliga, that's when the book really started to pick up for me. I thought the mystery of the ruins was really cool, and I knew right away, going back to the C. Elson, I was like, this is definitely tied to the C. Elson. It has to be. That was when I started to get interested in the C. Elson, because I was frustrated with them not telling us enough, and then when we got there, I was like, oh, they're doing kind of like a weird mystery thing, and I was like, okay, that's why they're not telling us, because it's related to them. I know it is. And then, to backtrack back to where I was, because I'm all over the place, they crash land the C. Elson. They break into the system for the first time, I think, ever. In this system, at least. I don't really know how that works with the different solar systems or different planets. I don't really fully get that. That's okay. And that was really fun. They all rush out, because there's like fire raining down from the sky. And they all rush out, and then Hadrian goes up and tries to speak with them. That was all really cool. Hadrian pisses me off sometimes. He's really stupid. He's spoiled and he's naive, and he thinks that just because he spent a little bit of time on the streets that he is not this spoiled rich kid. He is. He's a bit of an asshole. He makes stupid decisions, and I think his stupidity, it sucks because I love this section so much, this last third of the book. But it's when Hadrian becomes the most dumb. And that's like the only thing that really retracted from me liking the ending as much as I could have, is Hadrian. He's so annoying sometimes, and I know that's intentional. He even references it to him about himself, how he's so melodramatic and how he's naive. And he is, and it's a little frustrating, I won't lie. But it is cool to have him go up and talk to the C. Elson. I love the visual of the C. Elson and just all the visuals. He's really good. Christopher Rucchio is really good at his description. Really good. His prose is really good too. Sometimes it's a little cheesy when he does a little bit of introspection, but that's okay. I'm gonna end this pretty soon because we're at the end of the story. I've been going for 13 minutes, but yeah, Hadrian gets a little whiny. It's okay. I think that's the point, like I said. I think it's the point. I don't think you're supposed to really like Hadrian. I mean, he's gonna become a genocidal god, so we'll see. All the C. Elson come, he does the interrogation with the translation. That's all really cool. And then he kind of goes back. He convinces them to surrender. They're taken as hostages, political hostages, prisoners, I guess. And then you get all the council stuff, and then you get some of the interrogation stuff. And that was all really fun to me. I really liked all that stuff, all the way up until the end. I really liked all that stuff. And the actual end of this book was really great too. I like, going out there and let's find this planet, Vorgosos, I think it's called. The captain, before Hadrian kills him, gives him this information. I love that scene. The Hadrian when interrogating him, and then they attack him, and this is not for you, it's a holy place. Love all that stuff. Really fucking cool. The most interesting part of this book. Yeah, no, really, just really cool. I love how he gets that bit of information. It's supposed to be like a myth, and he's gonna go find this hidden planet, dark planet. I don't know. That's really fun. See, it feels like I said, this book is a prologue to kick off when the shit is about to go fucking down. And maybe I didn't love this book, but it hooked me into the series so well. Into the world, and the world is what really is keeping me going strong here. Why I'm genuinely so excited to read Howling Dark. I tried to order it. It was gonna come on Thursday, and I was like, I'll order it tomorrow, come on Friday. I go on Amazon, they're sold out. In one day, they said they had 12 copies left. So it's gonna come on the 30th, I think. That's fine. I think today is the 15th to the 16th, so got 2 weeks. Not a big deal. I can hold off. I loved it, guys. I didn't love this book, but I love the concept, and I love this. I love the idea of this series. I'm so excited. 72 out of 100 on Empire of Silence. If this is your thing, also like I said, this is my first sci-fi book ever. It might not have been a good jumping off point, so that could have made me like it more, or it could have retracted from it. I wouldn't know, right? So if you think you might enjoy this, just give it a shot. It's always fun to just give books tries, and if you don't like it, you just DNF it. That's what libraries are for. I don't really use my library because I like to collect books, so that's just kind of my thing. But if you don't like to collect books, if you have this at your library, go pick it up. You don't like it, DNF it. You like it, get the copy, get the series. That's it. 72 out of 100. Cheers, guys.